Hey, ladies and gents, we are back with some Avorion, and I'll be honest, I had a kind of an epiphany today. One of those things, you know. Um, Typically, when you're building a mine or claiming a mine, they're usually stuck inside an asteroid belt like this. With the changes to the game, it used to be kind of a problem because it being inside the asteroid, the NPCs had a hard time getting to them. A lot of times they got stuck. However, they changed that. They have some force beams themselves to move the rubble out of the way. However, there is still a need, I guess, if you want to say, to move asteroids in general. A lot of times it's better, since a lot of my stuff is on the other side over there. We're talking something around 50 kilometers away. If you're building a system where you want everything kind of relatively close so it's easier to defend, it behooves you to move asteroids to a little bit closer area. And if you're also building chain factories where you're going to have a factory but you need materials from mines, sticking your factory between two mines that are 25 kilometers or 30 or even 50 kilometers apart takes a lot of time for the little shuttles to scoot over there, collect the material, and come back. So moving asteroids is never a bad thing, I guess. If you want to group them up a little bit better, easier to defend, easier to make your chains work, you used to have to rely on fairly powerful, like for example this one, which is a 33.43, or multiples of said force gun. After thinking about it for a little while, and this is one of those deals where I moved a lot of asteroids in my time, and most of the times it was done with either a ship pushing or these very large force beams. And for example, this asteroid here, which I haven't claimed yet, but we want to move it over toward the other side of the map, closer to my other turret factories and shipyards. So this is a fairly large turret, and we're going to see just exactly how. So those are about 50, 60 kilometers away, just with this single turret, which is pushing at 33 meganewtons. Like I said, the Roydoiser has 6 of these, which still, if I wanted to, would take a fair amount of time to push this asteroid over there. We're talking maybe 100 to maybe 120, 150 meters a second. So it's going to take a long time. And if you don't have these massive force beams, how do you move asteroids? Well, after thinking about it, I've been doing it wrong for years. Well, not for years, but for a long time. How to get these things to move a little quicker, especially even like early game when you really want to, you're starting out, you don't have the time or effort or even the force beams to move it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to claim this asteroid, and we're going to make it a, how about aluminum mine? Alright, we'll call it SC Homestake 88. Alright, so we're going to claim this asteroid, and now it is an aluminum mine. Still want to get it over there, so those guys are roughly he's still 42 kilometers away. That's the closest one to me, and it's going to take me a long time if I'm moving at 50. Even with this one force beam, I might be able to get this thing up to like 40 or 50 meters a second. It's still a long ways. And if you're early game and you don't have access to these large force beams, you're going to get kind of right? However, once again, you do just kind of think about things. We're looking at a hull of 371,000 whatever, and a volume of 0.9 billion cubic meters and 730 blocks. Big ass honking piece of rock. Now, let's modify it. Let's scale that sucker down. And we're down to 546. Let's modify it again. And now we're down to 68,000 home. You know, we can do it. Yeah, that's plenty. So now we've modified the mine down to a very small little bugger here. Really small, actually. And we are, since that mine is quite a bit smaller now, and we're going to use our little force beam here. Ooh, it's going to look funny here, but we're already up to well over 150, 170, over 200 meters a second here. And I could have made this thing even smaller, and this thing would really move. But now all of a sudden, our mine's a little easier to move. Granted, right now he's trying to force beam all these rocks that are getting close to him. But yeah, sure beats moving this thing at, 50 meters a second. You can make these things small enough. In fact, we'll jump in here. Oh, there's going to be some sick people in that thing. We can modify it down even further. And let's modify it one more time. Let's make that sucker 1274. So now it's really small. And we are looking at, let's see here, get this, how far is it going to go? Oh, yeah, quite a ways. Looks like it's going to stop eventually. But now that thing's small enough, you could even do even further yet to start using the kilonewtons terrace instead of the meganewtons. Made it small enough that you can do it. And it's not small enough now that you can just build a ship to push it relatively easy because it's so small. And this goes for just about anything. After thinking about it, why I never scaled these things down far enough to move them easily. Otherwise, like I said, it was always I needed to get massive force turns, and of course, or I had to get a large enough ship to push them. Simply scaling them down to make them far more manageable. And then once you get to, like I said, once you get back to where you want it or where you want to put it, you just simply scale it back up again to where you could take a little while. Yeah, see, now we're scaling it back up to where it was roughly. There we go. I think it was at 4 million something, but yeah, now it's scaled back up to where we want it. And we add some cargo space, change it up, however you want to do it. But yeah, there we go. I've been doing it so long. I've been doing it wrong for so long. But hopefully this helps some of you guys, especially if you're first starting out in the game and you want to move stuff around. Just simply scale it down. Scale it down to something ridiculously small, and then move it. Whether it be a asteroid or be a station, something like that right there with 3 million hull, or these guys over here 2.8. There's one at 6 million. I can scale all that stuff down, move it a lot easier, which is going to be quite a bit easier to do than the way I've been doing it. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and you guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.